Now, say my name.
Well, you got the great Governor Gavin
Newsom
Newsom going on over there in California. I'll tell you that.
When they stopped the escalators at Universal Studios, I was like, elect anyone else.
See, Kev, you got out of the shade. I'm still here.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot all about that crap. Oh, my God. Well, speaking of old things coming back around, we have some animation news that will excite everybody. It's in our thumbnails. We got some Netflix stuff going on. So we're going from The Thing coming back again in video game form to, Kevin, let's talk about some Terminator and Ghostbuster stuff as far as Netflix goes.
Okay, so the first thing that happened this week, I think, in the news is Netflix announced in their Netflix animation announcement is the voice of their Terminator is going to be Timothy Olyphant from Hitman, not Hitman 47, Hitman, the original, the bad guy from Die Hard 4, who's actually pretty good, much better than Die Hard 5.
There is no Die Hard 5.
There is no Die Hard 5.
No.
So, golly, what was the name of the gentleman that played the Terminator in the TV series?
Oh God,
he was really good. I liked.
Oh, the actor?
Yes.
Oh,
like he came. Well, he smiled creepy, and I know we're not going to see Timothy smile in this, but
he barely smiles at all in any of his projects.
You got a point.
That's true. Like
especially the movie The Crazies.
Oh God.
I forgot. Nobody ever talks about that one.
I just watched the original of that not that long ago.
George Romero.
Yeah, George Romero.
Oh, that's right. I have seen that one.
It's funny. I've never seen the original, but I have seen the remake. And I actually thought the remake was pretty rad.
Every fall, like right around when spooky season is starting up, my spouse and I will just sit around and just binge any horror movie we can get our hands on. And that was, I think, either last year or the year before. Okay. It was that followed by the original Children of the Damned.
Ooh, cool.
Ooh, oh yeah, Children of the Damned. Didn't they do also Village of the Damned with Christopher Reeves?
That was a remake.
Oh, that was a okay.
That was a remake because there was one from the 60s, I think it was, and then the one in the 90s with Christopher Reeve. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I like that Christopher Reeve one. It's like one of the last like awesome movies I saw that man in.
You know,
after Superman.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. I'm gonna have to fix that.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't as spooky scary as you maybe would have liked, but it had a good atmosphere to it. And Christopher Reeve really made the movie work. It's hard. You try and dissociate him from Superman long enough to actually enjoy the movie, but you watch the movie a couple of times and you start to pick up like, oh yeah, he's totally not doing Clark Kent here. Mm-hmm. Otherwise the movie would have been over in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Was Kirstie Alley in that too?
I think so.
That sounds familiar. I've seen bits and pieces, but I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, but as far as this circling back around to the Terminator anime series, this got announced a long time ago, 2021. I actually remember that announcement. And I was like, well, it's an anime, so it's going to have some Japanese influences on it. It's not going to be a traditional cartoon. It's going to be a little edgier. It's going to have some very nice animation. And looks like it's going to be dropping 8 episodes on August 29th, 2024. I will be back from a little trip to take care of my dad for a couple of weeks. I will be reviewing this on our channel, whether it's with Kevin, anybody who wants to join us. Hey, invitation's going to be open for anybody. I will be doing it even by myself if I have to. I'm very excited. I really want to check this out. And the fact they got Timothy Olyphant involved, awesome. It's being animated by Production IG. They've done quite a few different shows through the years in movies. They're excellent. And I'm pretty excited. They got a synopsis. It's set in 2022. I think they were hoping to get this out a little bit sooner. Future wars raged for decades between the few human survivors and an endless army of machines. 1997, the AI known as Skynet gained self-awareness and began its war against humanity. Caught between the future and this past is a soldier sent back in time to change the fate of humanity. She arrives in 1997 to protect a scientist named Malcolm Lee, who works to launch a new AI system designed to compete with Skynet's impending attack on humanity. As Malcolm navigates the moral complexities of his creation, he is hunted by an unrelenting assassin from the future, which forever alters the fate of his 3 children. So this is definitely not a John Connor story, and we're getting a female Terminator going after Malcolm Lee with a competing Skynet. That is very interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how this plays in and if it will be considered canon or not. I actually hope it doesn't. I would like this to kind of be its own little world, kind of like the TV show did. It can reference everything, but not be too tied in. And I know I just said the TV show is not canon. In my head, it is, but the TV show plays so well on its own. You don't have to watch the movies to understand the TV show. For this, all you need to know is a little bit of the Terminator, and boom, let's go.
It looks savage. It looks beautiful. It looks everything you'd come to expect from an anime, but you put that Terminator name on it, and there's going to be a lot of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And golly, I hope they fulfill, because this could be amazing.
This could be really, really good. And some of the animation on Netflix has been like really good. Some of it, maybe not so much, but there's some quality animation on Netflix, whether it's straight from Japan or they've commissioned it. I really liked Castlevania. I know it's a little sketchy at times. It gets a little wokish, but it's very good. I also really like the Voltron. I know that's more traditional cartoon, but I really liked what they did with Voltron, but I didn't like what they did with He-Man. So you take the good with the bad.
Their iterations of He-Man were a little baffling. I wasn't again, I didn't dislike Revelations. I didn't finish it because they made me cry.
Yeah.
They pissed me off. But
yes, like they did most people.
The other series, I didn't care for the animation. It didn't look all that interesting. She-Ra, they changed the story quite a bit, and I just didn't care for it. So I wasn't that series' demographic. Like, it worked out well for younger girls, from what I understand, and that's fine.
Oh yeah.
That was supposed to be its demographic in the fucking 80s, not us.
Right.
Which, whatever.
As long as they do better than the War for Cybertron trilogy.
Oh,
that was so bad.
Were they bad?
They were bad.
Oh,
I don't even want to think about that.
Because
the guy they had voicing Optimus Prime, when he would scream at people, he sounded like Christian Bale trying to do Batman.
Tell me about the rabbits.
Where's Rachel?
It was no, that was bad. That was bad.
And
it
they
was
got
pretty to watch.
Did it have anything to do with the video games?
No,
was it?
No.
Oh, okay. So
it was.
It was
did
not
its own
good.
thing. Really.
Yes.
In the second part, Earthrise.
Yes.
Was even worse, and it had nothing to do with fucking Earth rising or anything. They didn't show the planet till the very last episode when they crash.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
It's supposed to be kind of like a loose prequel leading into how they got to the Earth.
Yeah, and then part 3 they brought in Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Which could have been good. It wasn't. It could have been good.
Like Chad with a hot take that I totally agree with.
It was beautifully animated. Absolutely
it was gorgeous. That's why I wanted to
animated.
check it out.
Yeah, I think it was done by Polygon. And I believe they also did the animation on Transformers Prime back in 2010.
I think you're right about that.
But the story and then the voice acting was horrible. They went with non-union folks, which
Yes.
really pissed off Peter Cullen and Frank Welker because they weren't even invited.
Yeah,
No
that
shit.
actually was irritating to hear that.
Yeah.
Wow.
At least to give them the option to decline it. They don't want to be involved. At least you offered and they weren't interested.
I mean, yeah, I get it. They're getting up there now, so you don't have Cullen doing as much voice, like day-to-day voice work now as he had been, but
Right.
Jesus Christ, give him the option. The man's a fucking legend.
Both of them are.
Oh.
Jesus.
Kind of. And really,
I'm still
the
mad
role
that they
thing
never
belongs
gave
to
Frank
that.
a chance as Megatron in the live actions.
And the later ones.
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. He
But not initially.
not initially, no, that was Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
But then they did in God, what was that? It was the one after Dark of the Moon.
Last night.
No, it was the one before the last night. Age of Extinction.
Oh, Age of Extinction.
That's when they brought Welker in
Oh,
to do Megatron.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember.
Marky Mark.
You want to feel those good vibrations, Kevin? Or go to Wahlburger right now?
Like I said, I didn't dislike that one. I watched it and bought it because it's got Grimlock on it, and it's like, well, I can't not see Grimlock. Like,
I did not like what they did with that fucking movie. Oh my god! And I own the damn thing, and I cannot bring myself to watch it.
It's not the worst.
No, it's not, but it's not the best either.
I didn't watch anything after it, so I will say that.
Bumblebee movie was good.
Was it?
I still, even though I've got the streaming services it's on, I still haven't sat down to watch
Rise of
the Beasts, even though they got Ron Perlman doing Optimus Primal, and I fucking love that guy.
Oh,
Rise of the Beast was okay. I've never really been into Beast Wars like at all. My wife was a fan of Beast Wars growing up. I knew of it. I never watched it. She thought it was okay. It was pretty mid. I thought it was pretty mid too, but I actually had fun watching it. We both did. And then the tie into G.I. Joe at the end was kind of like,
yeah.
Oh,
I heard about that.
Oh, we're trying to do that after you just had you still haven't gotten G.I. Joe even remotely right. At least with Transformers, you had the first one right. Then you just kind of trailed off and went off and did your own thing for like 4 movies, but whatever.
Michael Bay, what do you expect?
Hey, those Michael Bay movies look better than the animated one that's coming out soon.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
Not a problem. There is another animated
the
show.
Trailer, and I'm just thinking to myself, why are you having Thor as a young Optimus Prime?
Oh,
because Thor is everybody now.
Dude, I love Chris Hemsworth, but I'm like, no, don't do it, dude. You don't need the money that bad. Just go be yourself in Mad Max Furiosa, and then you're about to get your own little franchise in G.I. Joe coming up.
Oh, he's getting that? Oh, that's right. He is, isn't he? We reported that.
He's in talks. I don't know where they're going, what they're going to do, but he's got a fun little movie franchise on Netflix called what is it, Extinction or something like that. It's a nice little action spy franchise that he's in with a bunch of former Marvel actors. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna guess Brandy's watched it then. That sounds
probably
like a thing. Like Netflix, The Avengers.
Well, we might be a little Netflix heavy because we got also a Ghostbusters announcement going on.
Yes. So, in honor of Ghostbusters Day, Sony announced with this little tiny blurb, "There's something strange in the neighborhood."
Can we get a call?
Ghostbusters. At least somebody based on Ghostbusters is coming to Netflix. We're assuming it is going to be Ghostbusters.
I hope it's like Ghostbusters Core.
I've heard people say I've always been under the impression that it's going to be like a revival of the real Ghostbusters.
Those are some big shoes to fill.
Super.
Yes. And without JMS involved, I probably wouldn't want to watch it.
I'd let the man show run the damn thing at this point.
Yeah, but nobody calls him about shit. I don't know why.
I don't either, and he's been trying to get his Babylon 5 reboot off the ground for a long time, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But
they did get that direct-to-video movie not that long ago.
Yeah, The Road Home.
The Road Home.
I actually reviewed that on our channel. I really like that, and I've barely seen part of Babylon 5, so I thought it was really good.
I love JMS's writing, like his comic book stuff. I don't care what anybody said about Thor and Spider-Man. I thought it was cool, but
I picked up the first issue of the Captain America run that he did. And it was
he
really
did Captain America. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, he loves Captain America, and then having Steve Rogers buy the apartment building he's living at and make it rent controlled so the little guys don't get kicked out is probably the most Cap thing anybody has had the man do other than punching Hitler in the 40s.
That sounds pretty rad. I think I want to check that out.
Yeah, Joe's a really smart writer. I like him. The last time I got to talk to him, I think, was maybe 2002, 2003, before I moved up here. And he had autographed my, I don't remember what number it was. It was the black covered Amazing Spider-Man that was commemorative of 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And he had mentioned that they were in talks to have a movie series made, or a HBO series, something like that, of Rising Stars. And I'm still waiting, because Rising Stars is just the coolest damn thing. And all I ever hear anybody talk about is either Babylon 5 or maybe, if they're awesome, real Ghostbusters when it comes to talking about JMS. It's like,
or Sense8, the Netflix show we did.
Yeah.
Well, I like to talk about a show that he did for 2 seasons on Showtime that nobody literally ever talks about, called Jeremiah, that starred Luke Perry. Post-apocalyptic show where all the adults over the age of I think it's like 18 or 17 are dead, and the kids are left in charge of the world, and they gotta grow up and then take over. First season is fucking awesome. Second season's still pretty good. They bring in Sean Astin, otherwise known as, he's the other one in Lord of the Rings, and he does a pretty good job in it too. And it's a fun show, but it's definitely a little different, and it's based off the Jeremiah comic book series. But I really enjoyed the show, but it got canceled after 2 seasons. So,
as things do, especially with him,
which I have on DVD back here, which I can burn for when we decide to ever cover that on our podcast.
Which I'm sure we will.
There's plenty of canceled TV shows for our podcast.
Not all of them are good, but we don't know that until after the fact, usually.
Well, sometimes they were good, like years ago when we first watched them back in the 80s, Kevin, and we're growing up. But rose-colored glasses don't always work. Or rose-tinted glasses.
Like Mars rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah. Rose-tinted glasses. But back to Ghostbusters here. It looks like they're working on it, and Jason Reitman is involved with the show. He's producing it. So he might not be doing the movies, but he sounds like he's back invested in working with the cartoon series. So,
you know, I loved Afterlife. I'm not going to lie. I thoroughly loved it, especially compared to what we were given before. But then I don't dislike Frozen Empire. I know there's a lot of
I liked it.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
There's people, and it's the internet, so it's going to happen. Like, you take what the Green Goblin said to Spider-Man. The only thing people love more than a hero is to watch a hero fall. Like, people are waiting for things to just get destroyed on the internet. So,
I saw a quote on a Ghostbusters fan group today. Says nobody hates Ghostbusters as much as a fan. Because there's
I've heard
somebody
that
trying
quote with
to,
wrestling fans. Nobody hates wrestling more than wrestling fans.
yeah, somebody's trying to stir shit up and
God.
talking about how the
Yeah.
last couple of movies were utter and complete failures, and I'm just like, I'm clicking off.
Well, they made more money than the 2016 one, so shut the hell up.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't have to like them. That's fine. Film is purely subjective. But as far as I'm concerned, I liked Afterlife. Was it great? No, but it hit the sweet spots. It was to set up the stage for what's to come next. Now, granted, I do feel like they tried to put too much into Frozen Empire, so it's a bit convoluted. There's some choices they made I wasn't exactly a fan of, but it didn't knock my enjoyment of the movie. When it was over, I'm like, that was fun. That's
And
all I need out of a Ghostbusters movie. I don't
exactly.
need some like 5-star Ghostbusters script that everybody agrees to and makes everybody look like a champ. That wasn't even the first Ghostbusters, and that's the
No.
best one of all of them. So, like, Frozen Empire was fine. I know people took issues with some things that were implied, quote unquote. But, like, screw that woke bullshit. If you see it's woke, then nobody's going to change your mind. If you don't see it as woke, it's not going to bother you. Nothing was overt about it. It's inferred, it's implied, whatever. You can look at it in any number of ways, but the movie was fun. So, and it made money. It didn't make a lot of money, but it made money.
It made enough. Like, it surpassed that 200 million mark, and that's where people are like, see, it failed. It did not.
It didn't.
It made it didn't like do exceedingly well, but it exceeded what they expected. It made more money in its opening weekend, a little bit more, but not a lot. It made more money in that opening weekend than what they expected. It did do really well. The negativity online that you're seeing and the low box office returns and whatnot, look what we've been seeing over Memorial Day. Look what we've been seeing since Ghostbusters leading up to Memorial Day.
Bunch of mid to shit movies. Even Bad Boys 5 on the box office. And hell, I could bring that up real quick.